This is going to be a single leg squat or pistol squat progression. I'm going to go from gradually greater degrees of difficulty. So, first off, you want to have something to hold on to, right? You can use a TRX. You can also use a door. I'll have people at home use the lip of a kitchen sink. At home, I might use the edge of my couch. So here, holding on to these straps, this is going to give me a little bit of support. And I've got two options here. One would be your typical pistol squat, where you have that other leg coming in front. And as I come down, I am trying to not rely heavily on these straps. So they're here to help me. And when I first start, maybe I really let myself lean back so my arms are helping. So I'm very slowly lowering down, and I'm focused on the positioning of this knee that's bending. So I really want to make sure this bent knee is not caving in, right? So if anything, I'm kind of thinking about keeping that knee a little bit out as I drive back up out of that squat. So once again, this leg comes forward. I very slowly lower down. Now let's say I feel kind of shaky and not so good. I may stop right there, right? So the big thing for me with the squat is I'm always going to manipulate the range of motion first. I want to make sure I can maintain good form and slow control. And if that's all the further I can do that to here, then that's where I'll stop. And you'll notice I always come up a little quicker than down. If I'm able to, I'll continue to drop down into that full squat. All right, kind of butt to calf, and same thing, driving up through that squat. Really focusing on not letting my knee cave in. The other variation holding on, which I'll sometimes start a patient with, is instead of kicking this forward, having them reaching that foot back. So I'll drop into a similar squat, almost like I'm coming down onto one knee. So sometimes it's a little easier version to start with. Same thing, I'm really focused on this knee staying out, and especially you'll see like my pelvis maybe wants to sway this way. I'm trying to keep that other hip forward. So this knee out and my pelvis square. Okay, so that would be phase one. Now next, as much as it would seem like it would be harder, going to Bosu ball allows for a little bit of more like room for error. So if I have some tightness in my ankle, doing it on the floor is going to be a lot harder than the Bosu ball, because the Bosu ball will let me work around that tightness. Initially it'll be hard because this is shaky, but once you get better at balancing on here, this is actually easier than the floor. So as I stand on the Bosu ball, right, same idea. For this one, since I'm not holding these straps, I want to stick my hand and foot forward as a counterbalance. And same thing, if that's all the further I can go, that's fine. I can do the foot back version, which may be a little better for some. It's fine, right? Or if I'm able to, I can go slowly all the way down, same butt to calf, and come back up. Really trying to focus on this knee not caving in. And with this ball, like I said, it'll allow me to work around the ankle limitations. I want to make sure that I do try and keep it level. So as I drop down, I do want to try and keep that as flat as I can and not just let it cave forward or back. And then the harder version is actually typically going to be on the floor. So same idea, right? I want to get that same reach forward as I stick my butt out, and I go as far down as I can. Like for example, I can't do this on the floor, but I can do it on there. So as I come down, I'll go as low as I can control and back up. If that version's a little bit too awkward or uncomfortable, I can do the reaching the foot back. And you'll see as I did that, I can even let my back toe touch a little bit for balance, as I still do most of the work with that leg.